Next up, we have Dain Ingebretson. Dain Ingebretson is a writer and filmmaker in the Twin Cities. He'll finish up his MFA at Hamline University any minute now, and is a teaching artist with the Minnesota Prison Writing Workshop on Thursdays. Please welcome Dain. Just check to see if my book is. No book.
About 6 poems, 7, 8 poems, and they're about teaching at Stillwater Prison. First one's called The Hangover. The gates of a prison come in pairs, like an underwater airlock. I step through the first, and they suck out all the oxygen. I'm equipped with a name tag and my hands stamped with invisible ink. Then they send me through the hunger, the anger, the unforgiven. Did you know it's full of humans, the bottom of the sea? Rising and leaving is easy as a heartbreak. Just a quick check of my ID, a joke about the weather, and I'm breathing the cold, raw, prodigal atmosphere and wondering what the hell just happened. Prompt 1. Begin in the middle of the action. If you ask the men in Prison Blue to start a new story, the opening line being, "Put that down," you may get a loaded gun, or a pineapple grenade, or maybe half the class will lean way back to their youth and hand you their mother's words, or her medications, or a grandfather's pleas for help. Every piece will be a heavy keystone, or sting like a mother's slap. How they love their poetry. Epigraph. Being you, you cut your poetry from wood. Gwendolyn Brooks. Taking each a prison piece, they turn it round and over and find the quiet, pretty part to wrap in fragile paper, a stick of dynamite or a snapping firecracker. Then they blow me up. While waiting with 30 men in Prison Blue at the locked gate. I once watched a child herd 1,000 pounds of horse. With a finger flick, impatient and annoyed, he roped the instincts of 1,000,000 years in flight atop the steps of waving grass. The muscled creature glanced around, doubting the size of its own will, the challenge to the universal order, so audacious that, yes, possibly, this tiny creature had a point. It might just be a good time to settle down and let the cord cinch tight around its neck. The pirate. I hear a cheer from a man in the back of the room when I use the Tom Hanks pirate movie as an example of incomplete antagonists, of the dangers of overlooking the complications of human motivation, that strange puree of politics and affection that drives the very worst in us. The happy man is a pirate from Somalia, I'm told, and he's grateful to be named as tangled as the rest of us. Mamertine. The Church of San Pietro sits atop the dungeons of Mamertine. The altar cross is upside down to honor the possibility of Peter, the disciple who baptized his fellow prisoners from a spring that miraculously erupted for just that alchemy, brown water washing damnation off bound and grimy minds. Later, Peter hung from the cross feet first to dip a little deeper in the suffering a martyr needs to become a good Catholic cornerstone. When the men in prison blue sing songs in segregation, do they remember that Peter did that too? What we know about Lucy. Epigraph. A slightly wrinkly nose, a little flat. Jean Valentine. In order to survive, only knowing we will die, we pretend to know so many things. We even collect suspicion and speculation and build the brow ridge and smile of a million-year-old girl. What could we possibly know of a million moments of now, or before, or tomorrow, or of the trenches of a human soul? The last poem is called Quantum Elegy. I hear there are infinite universes. Each binary quantum moment splits our lives in two and two and two again. It makes my classroom crowded, as all the possible men of each man in prison blue are here instead of out there, loving and sharing or hating and caring. These possible men, they ride me out the door, then float away and leave me heavy, the child robbed of a bright balloon.